Hi, I'm Coach Ricardo Miller, and I had to bring you guys together, do this time, and connect with all of you that are following my effective living platform. If you're watching me for the very first time here on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. For those of you in the high performance group, I need you to know, listen, guys, you can take control of it all. The responsibility that has been given to you is your responsibility. You've got to get to the point where you start to realize if my life is out of control, I have to do something different to get a different type of results. Okay? So I decided I wanted to do a special talk because there are too many people who are saying things like, I don't have enough time. Why don't you have enough time? Why don't you have enough time? The interesting thing is, we all have been given the same amount of time. Okay? We all have been given the same amount of time. The question is, how have you been managing your time up to this point? Are you a good manager of what you've been given? Or are you allowing yourself to just live and take on tasks and take on various responsibilities and increase these different pieces of your life that allows you to now be so caught up that you're believing, I don't have enough time, Coach Ricardo? Well, if you're going to live life effectively and find yourself creating a structure that brings you to a place where you're enjoying your life, I want to provide you with a few things that I think is very, very necessary to taking control of everything. Okay? It's your life. I need you to remember that. It is your life. If you don't like where you are, if you don't like how things are flowing and going for you, you may just want to seriously consider the points that I'm about to share with you. Okay? They're practical, they're easy to do, but they're just as well easy not to do. Okay? You are where you are because of the things you've been doing up to this point that has brought you to where you are. You're going to have to now assess where you are and tell yourself, I don't really want to keep going back and forward with finding that this is the same result I'm experiencing over and over. Okay? So do me a favor. I need you to share. I want you to invite someone else to check this out because there are too many people that are not controlling their lives the way it's supposed to be. Okay? You're not supposed to be living a life that is just overtaken by so much stuff that you become frustrated, overwhelmed, literally pressed down, stressed out. It's not good. Are you ready for me to dive into my points? Here's a couple of things that I think you have to get really good at. If you want to learn how to stay on top of everything, you're going to have to learn how to engage in practicing what I'm about to share. Now, what I'm about to share, guys, you may have said, well, I've heard that before. What I'm saying to you, it's not about what you've heard before. The question is, are you doing it? The question is, are you doing it? My goal is to help you to live life effectively. That's what I'm on a mission to do. Okay? So the first thing you have to do is, number one, if you want to stay on top of everything, you have to do this. Number one, you have to learn how to say no. You have to learn how to say no. You will not be able to live life effectively, staying on top of things, all the things that you have to take control of and manage and be engaged in, if you're saying yes to things you need to say no to. So number one, it's all right to say no. It is okay to say no. Yep. You can't say yes to everything and then keep your life as your life. You're going to lose your life when you're too engaged in saying yes to things you should be saying no to. So there are some people who have never learned how to identify what is a yes and what is a no. So you've got to get to the point where you start to realize what is extremely important, what is important and what is not so important. And then you have to know also some things are important, but it's not important today. It may not be important right now. So you need to be able to identify the difference between it is important, but it's not important right now. It's a matter of fact, it may not be important at all. And then you have to now be able to learn how to establish that I'm going to do the things that I have to do, and I'm going to start learning to say no to the things that I can say no to. If you're watching this and you have a habit of saying yes too many times, I want you to go ahead and put that in the comment section. You've got to get to the point where you realize you're never going to stay on top of things that literally you need to stay on top of if you're saying yes to things you need to say no to. You can't do everything. You can't do everything. So the first thing you have to commit to is, I'm going to learn how to say no. A good no is necessary for effective living. Write that down for me. Make a note of that. A good no, a necessary no. A good no is necessary for effective living. If you want to live life effectively, you're going to have to learn how to say no. Now, you got to know how to study the appropriate places where no is necessary. No is not necessary with everything. You say, well, Ricardo, you got to help me with that. You got to help me with that. No, that's where you have to go to my one-on-one coaching. You got to step it up a little bit. And you might say, hey, I need to get into the coaching community so I can teach you about systems and strategies that will help you to make these things work best for you. But I'm giving you some highlights. This is free stuff. Okay? So you got to learn how to say no. Everything's not important. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you have to start structuring your days. You got to start you have 7 days a week. This month was 28 days. Next month will be 31 days. You got to start realizing you've been given days ahead of time that allows you to look at days in front of you. And you got to say, I'm going to start structuring my days. These are the days I work out. These are the days where I clean my house. These are the days where I organize my budget. These are the time. You got to now know your days, your times, your hours. You got to now structure yourself for success. Failing to structure yourself causes you now to be too engaged with too many things that now builds for chaos, which introduces frustration. Structure your days, structure your weeks, structure your month. Ricardo, I want to live life effectively. You're not going to live life effectively if you're not structuring your life. You've got to learn how to structure your life. Now you got to get to the point where, listen, the structure that you build is going to be what you're going to build your life on. So you're going to have systems and rhythms and models that's going to allow you to be able to sustain. The bigger your vision, the more structure your life needs to be. Okay, the bigger your vision, the more you're responsible for, the more structure you're going to need to manage that. It is unfortunate that there are a lot of people who are not structuring themselves to ensure that they can take on more. So if you take on more without structuring yourself to carry it properly, you can find yourself having a mental breakdown. You can find yourself becoming overwhelmed. And you say, well, I think it's too much. Now, for those of you that are people of faith, you know, we say things like, God has not, he won't put more on us than we can bear. The truth of the matter is, you were created to carry more, but you have to learn how to structure yourself to be able to handle what you were created to carry. In other words, your potential has the ability to produce at a level that may be different than anyone else. So the whole much is given, much is required. You have to now tell yourself, listen, I can't do what everyone else is doing because the structure to carry what I've been called to carry is going to demand me to now pull myself into an alignment that may not be like anyone else in my family. Structure is necessary for effective living. Okay, structure is necessary for effective living. So you got to put some structure into your life. Structure when it comes to how you organize your clothes. Structure with your money. Structure when it comes to your home setting. Set it up so it can work for you. Set your office up so it can work for you. Set everything up so that life becomes easier because of the structure that you have built within it for you. Where there is no structure, there will be massive levels of stress and frustration. The possibility of becoming overwhelmed is really high when you don't have structure. Structure helps to sustain what you're trying to do. Okay, structure helps to sustain what you're trying to do. So the goal is now what I'm going to do is, because I want to learn how to stay on top of everything, I'm going to learn how to say no, because not everything requires a yes if I'm going to stay in control of my life. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start structuring my life so that the more that is given to me that I have to do, I can sustain it, because I've structured myself in a way to be able to handle whatever has been placed on my plate to carry in life. To do more and to not structure yourself to handle to more, that more will cause you to become more frustrated. Okay, so number three, what I would suggest if you're going to stay on top of things is you want to start, this works for me. Okay, you want to start working with a to-do list. Okay, make a daily to-do list if you want to stay on top of things. Make a daily to-do list. Make a daily to-do list for work. Make a daily to-do list for your personal life. Make a daily to-do list. Write it down. Write it down. The older you get, the more you can find yourself possibly forgetting things. So write it down. Use the notepad system in your phone. Use a reminder system. Get an app that will encourage you to be able to see what you're going to focus on within a day, within this week. Here's the things that I'm going to do this week. Here are the things that I need to do today. And what you then have to do is you have to become extremely committed to working on your list. One of the things that I've been trying to do is I've been trying to work on this list. And let me tell you something. My big thing about my list is I try my best, at least. I really do. I try my best not to allow my list to be worked on only based on my feelings. In other words, it's how I feel that will determine my engagement with my list. Do a to-do list every day. Make it a habit. Make it a habit. Somebody said, what do you got to do today? Let me see. What do you have to do tomorrow? Let me see. What do you have to do next week? Let me see. Because what you're going to do is you're going to start dispersing the different responsibilities throughout the days that you're projecting that's coming. And what that's going to do is that's going to bring some order to your life. That's going to allow you not to be overtaken by too many things, because you're going to start inserting those things within hours and minutes and in seconds and so forth. You say, I'm going to spend a few seconds to do this. I'm going to spend a few minutes to do this. I'm going to spend a few hours to do this. Everything needs to have a place. Everything. Now, this is something I've been teaching for a long time. I'm a strong believer of it, and that is, if you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, you will always have time to do what you're supposed to do. You got to rewind this, look back, go back and play this over to hear that again. Let me say it. If you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, you'll always have time to do what you're supposed to do. The problem is we procrastinate and we keep putting it off, and then we find ourselves in these junctions, these spots where we find the level of frustration kicks in, because you know what? When you should have been doing something, you were watching TV. When you should have been doing something. And see, some people have not gotten really good at learning how to, okay, I got to figure out how to now watch this. On my drive, I can do audiobooks. On my drive, I can watch a YouTube video like this. While I'm cleaning the dishes and I'm washing some clothes, folding some clothes, I can listen. Subscribe to Effective Living with Coach Ricardo Miller. And then what you can do is you can start listening to Ricardo Miller while you're cooking. You can listen to Ricardo Miller while you're washing dishes. You can listen to Ricardo Miller while you're preparing your clothes for the next day. But don't stop to do. Listen, man, I'm a big believer. You got to manage yourself well in order to live life effectively. You've got to manage yourself well in order to live life effectively. One of the ways to take control of your life and to stay on top of things is to make a daily to-do list. It really does work. A daily to-do list. I suggest do your daily to-do list the day before. Okay? If you do that daily to-do list the day before, you wake up in the morning with pep in your step. You wake up with the realization, I got stuff to do. And you now are better able to say no to things that may seem good, but because your list is in front of you and that thing that may be coming to you may not, you be like, hey, it didn't make the list today, and it's not going to make the list tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I had a guy called me a few weeks ago, and he says, hey, Ricardo, I was wondering if you can jump on a Zoom call tonight at 8:30. Man, I'm not gonna make that Zoom call. Hey, man, this is, and he's trying to tell me what. I said, man, listen, it's 5 p.m. 5 p.m. You're trying to get me on a Zoom call tonight now, bro? I've already had my evening schedule out. I gotta have meditation time. I'm doing some study time. I'm doing my reading and praying time. I'm doing my quiet time. I'm eating. I'm cooking. I'm preparing for bed. I'm organizing myself for tomorrow. But you and your 8:30 meeting did not initially come into my list of things that I'm going to do today. You say, Ricardo, do you always stick with that? No, obviously you can't always stick with that. But you got to learn how to say no to things that did not have an opportunity to make the list while the list were being made. You're making your list. You're going to make your list to ensure that your list is allowing you to get the most out of your day. Okay? You want to be able to get the most out of your day. If life is not working for you, you got to start asking yourself the hard questions. What is it that I could be doing wrong that can be hurting me? Okay? So make a to-do list. Next one is, what's this? Recognize your own productivity. Recognize your own productivity. What is it that's working for you? What is it that you're doing that's working? Okay? And what can make you productive? Okay? Recognize your own way of becoming productive. Recognize your own way of identifying. Listen, this is what makes me productive. This is what takes away from me. You've got to know what is your kryptonite. You've got to know what is your time killer. You've got to know what you got to stay away from. But then also you got to know what is your secret sauce. You got to know what is the thing that brings it together for you. For some of you guys, you put on some music, you can get all kinds of things done. Ain't nobody. And you can start watching. You can start making stuff happen. Come on. You want to be able to recognize. Okay? You lay down in bed, you know you're going to fall asleep. You ain't going to read that book. Come on. All right? You turn on that TV, that's a kryptonite. You turn on that TV, you're going to lock yourself into some Law and Order. You're going to lock yourself into some Shark Tank. You're going to lock yourself in. Come on, but you got to tell yourself, no, stay away from that, stay away from that, stay away from that. But if I sit up to my desk, okay, sometimes I have to tell myself, just walk and work. Stand up and walk in my office. I got phone calls to make. I got this to do. I'm going to listen, man. Identify what's going to work for you to help you to produce and stay on track. Recognize your own productivity system. Okay? What makes you productive? What hinders you from being productive? And be honest with yourself. Stop justifying and establishing things that's hurting you and using it as a crutch to say, well, I've learned how to work with it. Well, why aren't you getting ahead like you're supposed to be getting ahead? Well, it's because you're maybe making excuses and you're adapting to accepting behaviors that needs to be put away, but you're keeping it because you're justifying those behaviors. Don't justify and establish anything that needs to go. Allow yourself to embrace what needs to stay and then work on what needs to go. If it's a stronghold, if it's something that you're wanting to get rid of, but it's not as easy because you've been doing it for so long, you got to do that. Okay, next one is you want to develop good systems. You want to develop good systems. For every one of us, our systems will be variables. It varies. It varies. Establish good systems for you. Okay, and for me, I used to wash my car. I love washing my car, but I realized, listen, for an hour or two, that's too much of my time. So I've established a good drive-through car wash. For me, it's 10 minutes. Okay, I could drive through. So I'm developing the car wash system. I'm developing, preparing. I prepare breakfast, identify if I buy this, I can have breakfast for the entire week. And I'm going to package the breakfast this way, package lunch this way. I'm going to prepare for dinner this way. Establish good systems that will help you to be better in control of your life. I was talking to a client a couple of days ago, and I said, it is so disappointing to see someone who you Monday come and Monday go, and you have between Monday to Sunday before another Monday gets here. And then that's going to come again. And then that's going to come again. Well, the same thing about your paycheck. Your paycheck is going to come again. Your bills are going to come again. Watch this. Come on. Your eating time is going to come again. Why not develop good systems that will help you so that, watch this, when you get in the kitchen, you set your kitchen up in a way that it works for you. Come on. You want to be able to set up your paycheck so that just the system, you don't have the time to be going on a bank line every week. You don't have the time to be going to a post office every week. So some things has to be automated. Just go ahead and have them just take it out automatically. Listen, guys, it'll work if you work it. Okay? It'll work if you work it, but you've got to get to the point where you have to be disciplined. Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need a one-on-one coaching service with Ricardo Miller. Come on, connect with me. Okay, if you want to do a little bit and go a little bit further, you may want to get the book. Okay, the book will also help you to figure out some of the things you can take control of. All right, so yes, you want efficiency to be a part of your everyday living. Identify, okay, what system I can put in place. Okay, my dress attire. You see, I'm learning at this stage of my life, I don't want to wear a lot of colors. I don't want to wear a lot of style. I want to simplify my life. I don't want a bunch of stuff because I don't want to waste a lot of time with a bunch of stuff. Okay, so what I'm realizing is, guys, if you let everything come, and what's going to happen is you're going to lose everything you were supposed to be in charge of, and everything will start taking control of you. So establish good systems that will work for you. I would love to help you with that if you join my coaching program. All right. The other one is you want to manage your email. You want to manage your money. You want to manage all of your resources. You want to start managing it. You want to manage, okay, your groceries. You got to tell yourself, I'm going to buy groceries for 7 days or 14 days or for the entire month. And then, okay, the fruits and vegetables, I need to do that. So what you want to do is you want to manage the system. But then you got mail and email and text messages and phones. You don't want to be using your phone all the time. I'm learning. Here's what I'm learning. Turn off the phone, Ricardo. Here's what I'm learning. You want to establish a good management system. Turn your phone off. Leave it in an area where you have to not be so with it all the time. Watch this. Your money, okay? One of the things that I've been practicing that sort of cleaned my credit up, man, just sort of clean it up, was that I started establishing a management system for paying my bills. Okay? You don't have to have everything coming at you and causing you to feel overwhelmed and overtaken. Go and do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and start establishing management models for different things. Okay? So the next one is, watch this. You want to set your own deadlines. Set deadlines for yourself. So with your to-do list, you're going to set deadlines. With the management system and structure that you're going to bring into place, you're going to set deadlines. You got to realize that if you don't set deadlines, what will happen is you'll keep bumping things. You keep bumping things. And before you know it, your intent to improve your life ends up being a delayed manifestation of what you're wanting because you keep putting it off. So I believe is you want to set healthy deadline. I'm going to set a deadline for when I'm going to have my money management system better put together. I'm going to set a deadline for how I'm going to set up a system for how I'm going to deal with my food and my health and my kitchen and what I'm intaking and the water and the drinks and all of that stuff. Okay? Well, you want to be able to identify my to-do list management system that allows you a deadline model. By this time, I need to be doing this. Okay? By this time, I need to be doing this. By this time, I need to be doing this. This requires massive discipline. Okay? Massive desire is not enough for living life effectively. Okay? Desire is not enough to live life effectively. You've got to get to the point where you realize that you're going to have to go a little bit further beyond the normal practices that you've been practicing. And now you got to put in the work. Okay, I was talking to a good friend of mine and he reminded me, he said, Ricardo, I was looking at your platform. I read your book. I've been watching these videos and I love what you're doing with the Effective Living platform. You and your team, y'all are doing a phenomenal job. And so he said to me though, he said, what I want you to know, that's going to be the challenge of most of the people that's going to be following you is your platform requires personal responsibility. Yep. He said your platform, Effective Living, requires personal responsibility. In other words, people got to do the work. People got to, as good as you've written the book has good stuff. If people buy the book, but don't do the work that's in the book, if people watch your live session and don't take away that nugget that is necessary for them to go to the next level, what's going to happen is they're going to say, oh, I used to listen to Ricardo Miller. Oh, I read his book. Oh, I went to a few of his webinars. The question is, how is that working for you? Did you put in the work? Did you put in the work? So the last point I want to highlight to you guys is on your journey to living life effectively and saying, I want to learn how to be able to stay on top of everything. You're going to have to learn how to delegate / outsource. Okay. You got to learn how to delegate or outsource. In other words, some things you just got to know, I'm not going to do this at all. Someone else is going to do this. And then there are times where you're going to have outsourcing, man, this is, they're going to take this over completely, but then occasionally you can delegate. And in other words, you're going to need somebody to help you. And there are things you shouldn't be doing anymore in your pursuit to manage your life to the fullest. Some things like me, I was trying to wash my own car and take 2 hours, 3 hours to wash a car when I could drive through the car wash and have the guys do it in 10 minutes. Okay, that allowed me to be able to get myself more done because I've now learned how to delegate. I'm now learning how to outsource and not do things I shouldn't be doing. Okay, so I'm working on, listen, when the housekeeper come, I'm like, listen, I used to spend a half a Saturday cleaning the house, but now I realize my time is more valuable than me spending a half a day trying to clean my place. What I'll do is I'll have someone come and do that who enjoy doing that, and it's value for them, but it's not necessarily value for me. Okay, so you want to learn how to start delegating. Well, I can't afford to delegate. If you start putting the right things at the right place, listen, it may not even be the fact that it may be a financial cost. It may be an exchange of service. In other words, I'm not really good at this, but you're good at this. I'm really good at this, and you're not good at this. So what I'll do is, let's just say someone watching us right now, you may be good at social media. Someone else may be good at cooking. You say, hey, girl, could you come over by me? You cook. I'll do some structuring for your social media page. Someone may say, listen, I'm not good at sewing and knitting and so forth. Someone may have something they may need knitted. But they spend 4 hours trying to fix a blouse, trying to fix a button. When someone can come over and take a few minutes to do that, and you say, well, you can exchange service, which brings about value in the life of someone who needs something done. So it's not always money. It's not always money. I may not want to wash a car. Someone may have no problem washing my car while I do something else. So the truth is, you just got to get strategic with all that you're doing and saying, I'm going to make it happen, because it can happen. I need to make it happen. And it's the only way I'm going to stay on top of things. So if you're one of those people who want to do everything yourself, and you're overprotective in relations to bringing people into your life, you're never going to have the ability to manage everything that will cause you to get to where you're trying to go. You may say, I'm managing everything fine, but you're stuck on being small. Okay? You're stuck on being small. If you're going to get at the level that you really desire to get, next level, I'm talking about mega, I'm talking about major, then you have to get to the point where you start to realize, I'm never going to be able to be a master at everything that I need to be, have good in me, my life or affairs, anything related to that. I'm going to have to now bring some people in. Okay? And someone is doing extremely well where you're challenged. Someone has learned how to master what you're having difficulty with. So what you want to do is you want to learn how to identify who's around me that's good at where I'm struggling, and I'm going to lean on them, and I'm going to let them help me where I'm weak. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow myself to learn from them where they're strong, because nobody has it all together. Okay? But together we're stronger. Together we are stronger. Okay? Now, I may be able to do a lot of things, but the question is how many of those things I shouldn't be doing at all, because I really want to focus on the things that can really allow me to have tremendous success and go where no one has ever gone before in relations to what I'm trying to do. But if I'm trying to do too many things, no matter what it is, you got to get to the point where you start realizing I could be hurting more than helping the situation. So what I'm saying to you is start looking at your life and saying, you know what? There are things I can do, and there are some things I ought not do. And whatever I can do, I'm going to become more strategic and making sure that every day I'm engaging in healthier practices that's going to bring me at a place where the result in my life says, this boy is managing his life really well. This lady is managing her life really well. Last point. This is a bonus point. You have access to someone that can help you to manage your life. Okay? You have access to someone who has the ability to help you to stay on top of things. What you have to do is you have to take away pride. You have to take away, I don't ask people for anything. I don't want to talk to her because I don't like how she talks to people. Listen, you're stuck. Things are going chaotic in your life. You got to get to the point where you ask the tough questions and be prepared to hear the tough answers. You want your life to work for you. Okay? The person who can help you, you have access to. But you got to be willing to accept the answer and say, listen, I need to do what I need to do to get the results that I'm needing to get. And I can't keep justifying what I'm doing and expecting my results to change. No. Okay? You've got to now start studying the people that's around you. You will know them by their fruits. Okay? The person who's assigned to help you have the fruits that you desire to have in your life as well. However they tell you it, eat the watermelon, spit on the seed. At the end of the day, get what you're supposed to get so you can go to where you're supposed to go. All of us know someone who's capable of helping us go to the next level. The question is, are you allowing them to help you? Because nobody is forever. And on your journey to living life effectively, when the teacher shows up, the student needs to be prepared to extract from the teacher all that he or she is providing to ensure that you are now growing and going according to how life is supposed to be working for you. You can take control of your life. I hope the content that I provided helps you a little bit to look at, you know what, I can do this. Okay, I can do this. Now, if you choose to apply the information, that's when it'll work for you. But if you choose only to hear it and be, well, Ricardo's talking something I said, spoke, connected with you. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Whatever point stood out to you the most, leave a comment below. If you really enjoyed this talk at any level, give me a thumbs up. Okay? Go ahead, give me a thumbs up. Let me know, Ricardo, I enjoyed the talk. I'll be back again, trying to help you to identify little things that you can do to help you take control of your life. Have a great evening, guys. Don't forget, share this with somebody. I think it'll bless them. Bye-bye.